To the point. I'm Jason Fillmore, your host. Today's guest is Michelle Hardy with Coldwell Banker. How are you doing with today, Michelle?
Oh, not too bad, Jason. How are you?
Good. It's good to have you on the show today. So today I would
Thank
like to
you.
talk to you about real estate investment in St. John. I've noticed, and I know you've probably noticed yourself in the last year or two, there's been a huge increase of investors coming to the city. In your personal opinion, why do you think that is?
Well, St. John has more to offer, as getting more to offer. There's been quite a bit of growth in the uptown. Actually, not just uptown. It's been growth all around St. John. I mean, we have the New Brunswick Museum. Irving Oil's opening a building for their employees. Over East Side St. John, we have the Field House. We have the New Brunswick Museum.
I think
Oh,
I'm back.
sorry about that. I think I lost you.
Yeah, I had a connection problem. I'm back. I did hear what you said, though.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. So yeah, so no, there's been a bunch of growth. Growth all over the city. There's been growth uptown. There's been growth. I mean, sustainably, there's investors looking and buying properties all around our city, and that's because our prices are lower too.
That's true. Do you think the Toronto and Vancouver market have anything to do with people looking this way?
Oh, absolutely. What they can buy here is price wise is a quarter of what they could get there. They're getting so much more for their dollar.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
where I'm finding even some people are coming and giving me calls because they want to retire here. They're selling their homes in Toronto or in Vancouver, and they're reselling their homes for a nice penny, and they're able to move here and retire off the difference of what they buy in a house or condo. Yeah.
So let's talk about investment properties in St. John. There's lots out there. Obviously, there's lots of things for sale. If you were an investor coming to St. John, what things should they be looking for? I know every investor is different, but is there certain things they should be keeping an eye out for?
Yeah, well, obviously every investor is different and they're going to buy for their portfolio. So, but generally, certain things they can look for, they need to look at the property itself. They need to look where the property is located. And this is multi-units. This is not a residential. They need to know what's around them. I mean, that makes a big difference. If you're beside something that's not appealing, obviously you're not going to keep tenants or retain tenants. And something I did want to mention is our vacancy in St. John has gone from 8.5% to 4.7% in 2017, and that helps also in the growth of our city.
Oh, absolutely. I've noticed that myself in the rental market. I mean, it's been booming. Rentals have been easy to rent now. There seems to be a lot more movement in St. John. So the low vacancy rate definitely is helping. Uh, so if you were an investor in St. John, you had a property, actually a seller in St. John, you had something to sell, what tips would you give somebody that wanted to sell their multi-unit property to attract investors?
To attract an investor,
Attract
um, well, I can tell you how they could prepare to sell their property. I mean, to attract, I mean, the property itself is going to be the attraction, right? Um, the property itself or the numbers. I mean, they want to have good. Most buyers want to look for 7% cap rates, or look for money in the buy. So be able to make money when they buy the property lower, put a little bit of work into it, and be able to sell it later. So that's the money in the buy. But so basically, to prepare to sell their property, certain things that they can do. They can, first of all, you need to gather all your documents. I wouldn't sell a multi-unit. The buyer's going to need certain things to go for a mortgage approval. And if you have that information, like rent rolls, the leases, their appraisals, any environmental studies that you had done, A copy of your title. Permits for work that you've done makes a big difference. And just copies of your utility bills. What that does is not only allows the buyer to go to the mortgage company for a quicker approval, but it also gives them confidence to move forward. So that's the first thing I would do. Second thing, clean up your property. It's just like home. People curb appeal goes a long way. Make sure to do, and this is one thing I find a lot people don't do, inspect your units before you put it on the market. Do a final walkthrough. See what tenants you have. Is there one that's causing a big disturbance? Because when that buyer goes through that property, they're going to say, yeah, I don't want that. I don't want to deal with that. So if you can evict that tenant prior to putting it on the market, that's always a bonus. Anything that you could do to make it look better, feel better, and try to have as much vacancy as you can, obviously. And then after that, once you have that done, contact your realtor. We help you present, do a package up, and then we'll market you, and we'll get you going for all that. But and there's some things that a realtor will look for. They'll look for a certain kind of edges, like how to promote your property would be like the growth of the area. They'll consider that. Sometimes a zoning change might help, and that might give you, or a proposed change even might give you an edge to sell your property. Sometimes you have to consider financing options, like holding onto a mortgage for somebody to buy that property. And sometimes you don't have to, or if you don't want to. Another thing that I always tell people, check your mortgage, and this goes for residential also. Check your mortgage to see if you have any prepayment or cancellation fees. You don't want to have to get to that point where you're signing documents and you find out you have a huge fee to cancel that mortgage.
Now, I do have a question here from Jeff Murray, who we all know and love.
Yes.
Basically, his question I had on the screen earlier says, seeing how the market in the uptown region has been so busy, do you see this moving outward to other areas of the city, such as Old North End, for example?
Yes, there's already been some sales, recent sales in North End. The market North End is quite different, and I'm talking more like the Metcalf area, is quite different than the uptown area. You're looking at different kind of investors, different kind of buyers. They're more of a fix and flip property, or buy low, maybe sell later for higher equity. So it's a little different of a buyer too. But yeah, I foresee it will be growing. I've seen quite a bit of movement all around, east sides, uptown, everywhere, north included.
And I know the Old North End, especially, there's been a lot of buildings that have been boarded up. Some pop tearing stuff down, but it is a beautiful area. I think investors are there. There's definitely growth potential. Another question I would have for you, Michelle, is for outside investors coming to St. John, some of them don't get an opportunity to actually physically come and see the building. What kind of things should they be watching them for where they can't actually see the buildings themselves?
Well, pictures say 1,000 words, right? If there's no pictures, then that's right there. If I had an investor call me and ask for a building and they're interested, I first I put my foot in the door, go see it, check it out. If they have property management already, like yourself, or I've already purchased or an investor in the city, I recommend them going on the first viewing with me, just to see what they're getting into.
I know here at Canada Homes, we've gone to several buildings uh, for our buyers and investors to spoke to those for them because they can't be here, and it gives them eyes and ears on the ground, especially where we know the area. So it's definitely a good fit to use. I know if anyone out there has any questions for Michelle or myself, please post. We're happy to answer your questions. Michelle, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, actually, I do. So Starting May 22nd, St. John is starting their investment organization. It's similar to the one that's being offered in Moncton for investors, and you can be beginner, intermediate, or advanced. The plan is to actually host it at your office in 33 Hanover at 6:30. Bring yourselves. We're going to have a guest. Our first guest speaker is going to be Sean Power from the Moncton Real Estate Investment Organization, and he's been running that for a few years now. So we're bringing him down to give advice on what we can do to make ours better and easier going. He can talk about some of the Moncton real estate, and another thing after that is going to be roundtables. So tips and tricks. Bring ideas, bring questions, hoping to give back to people locally so much too, so they can invest a little bit easier.
Address up on the screen of anybody up there that owns properties who wants to be part of this investor group. That's the address that it will be at. And what was the date again, Michelle?
May 22nd.
May the 22nd. That's coming up quick.
Mm-hmm.
Again, 33 Hanover Street. Just come on upstairs. That's where it will be held. And if you have any questions or you want to talk to Michelle, her phone number 721-1099. I was getting phone calls all the time. Is there anyone out there has any other questions or any comments you'd like to make that are watching?
You can always email me too. It's unfortunately the real estate market. It's very particular to what a person's looking for too. So it's give me a call if you have questions about something in our market or a question about something upcoming or you looking to sell. I can help you.
What is your email address?
mhardy@coldwellbanker.ca.
Here, so everyone can write it down. Hardy@coldwellbanker.ca. Well, great, Michelle. It's nice having you on the show today.
Well, thank you.
Who else has any other questions out there? Thanks for tuning in. For those who watched, we just got another question. This happened last week too. Last minute question. Again, Jeff Murray. Things going. Is there any plans for the future speakers at the St. John Investment Meeting?
For the future speakers, actually, we're looking to have a little bit of everybody. We're going to have a mortgage person. We're hoping to have somebody from Service New Brunswick. We're hoping to have somebody from St. John, maybe the planning board if we can get them. We're just trying to set up some dates and times. But yeah, just property management. You guys are going to be there one day, or any management. And we're just basically want to give that roundhouse effect of questions and help everybody. So, and if you have somebody you think that we should have on there, Sean Illman he's co-running this also. So give us a touch base, give us a reach out, let us know what you think and what we can do to make it best, because this is our first time too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so we'll probably just wrap it up here now. Again, Michelle, thank you very much for being on the show.
Well, thank you.
Definitely valuable. Hopefully some investors watching, we can reach out to you if you have any other questions. So if that's it, again, folks, if you want to be a guest on the show or if you want to ask questions, please reach out to me. I'll throw my email up on the screen here. Yes, I can remember my email. It's a long one. Canada Home Rent. CanadaHomesRent.ca. So if you want to reach out to me, if you have any topics you want us to go over in real estate, landlord industry, property investments, any guests you'd like to see, we could definitely bring them on. And of course, another question just popped up from Jeff Murray. Question?
Yeah.
Do you have to register before the meeting?
No, just show up.
Show up?
Just show up.
That sounds good. Just come. Again, it's 33 Hanover Street, May the 22nd at what time?
At 6:30 is when we plan on starting.
6:30.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a lot.
We're actually expecting a few people. I expect a good turnout. You know, from what the feedback has been, there's quite a bit of excitement in St. John.
A while about starting an investors group in St. John. I know
Mm-hmm.
I've heard people say they wish there was one here, or they were thinking of starting one. So it's good to see that you and Sean.
Sean Illman, he's an investor himself. He has multiple properties. It's great to have somebody with the hands-on experience. So
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
To have this group starting, especially new investors who want to learn from experienced investors. I definitely recommend going to this meeting. I know I've been to the one. I've been to one in Ottawa, the Oreo group, which is fantastic. They have a huge membership. They give lots of good information. The Moncton one I've been to, again, you know, Sean Power runs a good organization there. Lots of good information for new investors to sit with, seasoned investors in the same room and just discuss, you know, all the details of investing. It's a great experience and a learning experience.
It's a lot about the network. It's learning contractors. It's sharing names. It's a lot of having somebody to call if you're kind of in trouble. Or
There's courses out there, but realistically, a lot of them just go in blind.
mm-hmm.
Good to have people you can talk to and support you.
Yeah, yeah, the support too. That's definitely hands down probably the biggest thing there.
Absolutely. All right. Again, Michelle, thanks very much. If anybody out there wants to do something on the show, they have any questions or they want to be a guest, please reach out to us. Again, Jason at CanadaHomesForRent.ca. All
Thank you,
right, Michelle,
Jason.
enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.